The dark ships came from the void like hungry wolves. Admiral Zekthar stood on the bridge of his massive flagship, watching the small human colony grow larger on his screens. For 3,000 years, the Volthran Empire had ruled this part of the galaxy. No species had ever dared to resist them for long. Zekthar was 12 feet tall, with 4 powerful arms and skin like black armor. His red eyes studied the primitive mining colony below. The humans called it New Denver. It looked weak and defenseless, just like all the other worlds his fleet had conquered. Jack Miller wiped the sweat from his face as he read the urgent message from Earth. The warning was clear. Alien ships were coming, and all outer colonies should evacuate immediately. He looked around at his mining facility, at the machines and buildings his team had worked so hard to build. "Pack up and run," he muttered, then shook his head. This was his home now. Kate Sullivan entered the control room. She had been a soldier once, before coming to mine asteroids and dig tunnels on this dusty world. Her sharp eyes took in the worried faces of the other miners. "How many ships are coming?" she asked. "The message says dozens, big ones, military grade." Kate nodded slowly. She had seen war before. These aliens probably expected the humans to surrender without a fight, like most other species did. That was their first mistake. "Get everyone together," she told Jack. "We need to talk." Within an hour, all 37 miners gathered in the main hall. Kate stood before them, her voice steady and calm. "We can run or we can fight. The choice is yours." Old Ben Carter, who ran the fusion reactor, was the first to speak. "This is our home. Nobody takes it without a fight." One by one, the others agreed. Tony Hayes, who fixed the mining machines, Lisa Wong, who kept their vehicles running. Even Paul Green, their doctor, picked up a plasma cutter and nodded. High above them, Admiral Zekthar prepared his landing ships. His warriors checked their weapons and armor. This would be easy, just like always. The humans would see their power and surrender within hours. He had no idea what was waiting for him below. The Volthran warriors marched through the main tunnel like they owned the place. Each alien soldier stood 9 feet tall in their black armor, carrying weapons that could burn through solid rock. They had done this 1,000 times before, on 1,000 different worlds. The explosion came without warning. Ben Carter had placed the charges perfectly. Tons of rock and metal crashed down from the ceiling, crushing 6 Volthran warriors in seconds. The aliens who survived scrambled backward, their red eyes wide with shock. Kate Sullivan watched from her hidden spot behind a mining machine. She pressed a button on her radio. "That got their attention," she whispered. The aliens regrouped quickly. They were trained soldiers, not easily frightened. But as they moved deeper into the mining complex, more traps waited for them. Lisa Wong had turned the construction robots into weapons. The machines rolled out from hiding places, firing mining lasers and swinging heavy drill bits. Paul Green treated wounded miners in a hidden medical station deep underground. "How many did we get?" he asked Tony Hayes, who limped in with a burned arm. "At least a dozen," Tony replied through gritted teeth. "But there are hundreds more coming." The aliens expected the humans to surrender after the first attack. Instead, the miners fought harder. When their weapons broke, they picked up tools. When the tools broke, they used their bare hands and whatever they could find. Jack Miller rigged explosives in the reactor room. If the aliens wanted his facility, they would have to pay a heavy price for it. He watched the alien soldiers on his security cameras, noting how they moved and where they went. Every piece of information helped. The Ilthran commander sent a report to Admiral Zekthar. "The humans refuse to surrender, sir. They fight like cornered beasts." Zekthar studied the battle reports with growing frustration. His forces had been fighting for 2 full days, 2 days against a handful of primitive miners with basic weapons. This should have been over in 2 hours. "Impossible," he muttered. "No species fights this long against superior forces." But the humans kept fighting. Even when wounded, they crawled toward alien positions with explosives. Even when outnumbered 10 to 1, they attacked instead of retreating. It made no sense to the Admiral. For the first time in his long military career, he began to wonder if his warriors might actually lose.
Captain Steve Rodriguez saw the alien fleet through his ship's window and felt his heart sink. The Volunthran vessels were massive, like floating cities made of black metal. His own ship, the Liberty Bell, was tiny compared to them. But he had come anyway, along with 15 other human ships. "All ships, this is Steve," he spoke into his radio. "We're outnumbered and outgunned, but those are our people down there." The space battle began badly for the humans. The alien weapons cut through their shields like paper. 3 human ships exploded in the first few minutes, but instead of retreating, the remaining ships pressed their attack. Amy Foster piloted her small corvette straight at a Volunthran cruiser. Her engines were damaged and her weapons were dead, but she still had one option left. She aimed her ship at the alien vessel's weak spot and pushed her engines to maximum power. "Tell my family I died fighting," she radioed, then crashed her ship into the alien hull. The explosion tore a massive hole in the cruiser's side. On the ground, Colonel Dan Mitchell arrived with 200 Marine reinforcements. They linked up with the surviving miners who had been fighting for 3 days straight. Kate Sullivan briefed the colonel on what they had learned about the aliens. "They're tough, but they don't expect us to keep fighting when we're hurt. Every time they think we're beaten, we hit them again." The combined human force began a new kind of warfare. They used the mining tunnels to move unseen. They struck hard and fast, then disappeared before the aliens could respond. When Jake Phillips was killed defending a supply depot, his squad didn't retreat. They fought with twice the fury, screaming his name as they charged the alien positions. Admiral Zekthar watched the battle reports with growing alarm. His forces were winning, but slowly and at a terrible cost. The humans coordinated their attacks across impossible distances, sharing information and tactics in real time. When one group was destroyed, another took its place immediately. "They fight like a single organism," he told his staff. "Kill one and 10 more appear. Wound them and they become more dangerous." The Admiral had conquered hundreds of worlds, but he had never seen anything like this. These humans didn't just refuse to surrender. They seemed to grow stronger with each defeat.
The news spread across human space faster than anyone thought possible. Every colony, every space station, every human settlement heard about New Denver within hours. They also heard something else. The humans were winning. On Earth, Fleet Admiral Nicole Parker called an emergency meeting. She stood before a room full of military officers and civilian leaders, her face grim but determined. "The aliens think they can scare us by attacking our outer colonies," she said. "They're wrong. We're going to show them what happens when you threaten human families." Dr. Martin Clark presented his research on the enemy. "They call themselves Valthrans. They've conquered most of the galaxy by making other species surrender quickly. But we're not like other species." The human response shocked everyone watching. Instead of pulling back to defend Earth, humans everywhere volunteered to fight. Merchant ships were fitted with weapons. Mining vessels became warships. Even passenger liners were converted to carry troops and supplies. Captain Ryan Bell commanded the defense of Kepler Station when the aliens arrived there. But this time, the humans were ready. They had studied the battle footage from New Denver and learned the aliens' tactics. The Valthran warriors who landed expecting another easy victory found humans who knew exactly how to hurt them. The colonists had prepared kill zones, overlapping fields of fire and escape routes that led to more traps. They adapt too quickly, a Valthran field commander reported to Admiral Zekthar. Every mistake we made at the first colony, they've prepared for here. But what truly disturbed the aliens was the human communication. Across vast distances, human settlements shared not just battle plans but personal messages. Families on different worlds sent encouragement to their fighting relatives. Children recorded messages for soldiers they'd never met. Ryan Bell received a transmission from a little girl on a farming colony. "My daddy says you're keeping the monsters away from us. Thank you, Captain." The aliens intercepted these messages and couldn't understand them. Why waste communications on emotional content when you could send tactical data instead? But the humans treated these personal connections as fuel for their fighting spirit. Admiral Zekthar realized something terrible. The humans weren't just defending territory, they were defending each other. Every attack on a human world made all the other humans fight harder. The Empire had awakened something that grew stronger with each battle. "Sir," his communications officer reported nervously, "we're detecting massive human fleet movements from all sectors. They're not retreating, they're coming for us."
Admiral Zekthar assembled the largest Valthran fleet in history at the Arcturus system. Over 500 warships waited in formation, enough firepower to destroy entire solar systems. He would end this human problem once and for all. The human fleet that arrived looked pathetic in comparison. Maybe 60 ships, most of them converted cargo haulers and civilian vessels. Zekthar almost felt sorry for them. "This will be over quickly," he told his officers. He was wrong. Commander Sam Murphy led 12 converted freighters in what looked like a suicide attack against the Valthran flagship. The alien gunners cut down half his ships before they got close. But the survivors kept coming, ramming into the massive vessel's hull and detonating nuclear charges they had hidden in their cargo holds. The explosion tore through 3 decks of the Worldbreaker. Zekthar felt his ship shake and saw emergency lights flash red all around the bridge. "Impossible," he gasped. "No species would sacrifice their ships like that." But the humans kept doing impossible things. When their weapons failed, they used their ships as battering rams. When their ships were destroyed, the crews kept fighting with whatever they could find. Engineer Tracy Kim continued sending targeting data to other human ships even as her vessel broke apart around her. Her final transmission helped destroy 2 Valthran cruisers. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, both fleets were shattered. But the surviving humans were already planning their next attack, studying debris from alien ships and learning new ways to hurt their enemies. Zekthar sat in his damaged command chair, bleeding from multiple wounds. Through his cracked viewport, he watched human rescue ships collecting their survivors. Even after devastating losses, they weren't retreating, they were regrouping. "They don't understand defeat," he whispered to himself. "Every loss teaches them. Every death makes them stronger." He opened a communication channel to the Valthran High Command. His message would change galactic history forever. "We have encountered a species that views death as education and defeat as motivation. They do not surrender. They do not retreat. They learn from every mistake and adapt to every strategy. I recommend immediate withdrawal from all human space." He paused, watching another human ship approach his crippled flagship. "We came to conquer primitives. Instead, we have awakened predators, that will hunt us across the stars if we do not leave them alone. The Veilthran Empire ordered full retreat that same day.